The music's loud, the party's crazy, but I'm sitting, talking with her. When she danced, she caught my eye. It looked like fire sparks had hit her. So much passion in her movements, in her style and in her face. And we've been talking for a while, and I'm caught up by her grace. Yo, she is just so right to me. Each move she makes entrances me. I knew that I was onto something good when I said dance with me. Her rhythm's paralyzing, and the conversation is so sweet. And when she laughed, she put her hand on mine. I felt the body heat. So warm, so wonderful. This moment that we shared is truly our treat. Even that music behind us couldn't outperform my heartbeat. Words released from us like lyrics to a song we sang together. And if we could, then we would be conversating here forever. Both our seats are close together, and her leg rubs against mine. She pulls away and says she's sorry, but I tell her that it's fine. And then I look her in her eyes, and all that music fades behind us. Suddenly the party is irrelevant. No one can find us, and we lose ourselves inside each other's glance. I volunteer. I tell her that the music's way too loud, so let's get out of here. She cracks a smile that makes my heart crack with desire, and she transformed my hand from just a limb to sacred. When we touched, I felt the warmth again, and as we drove, I smiled at the words we were delivering. She talked, and I could barely keep driving. I was quivering. I wanted her. I felt connected, so strong to her tonight. Her hair blew in the night air, and her eyes reflected the moonlight. Passion pressed down on my soul, making my quiet breathing heavy. I was frantic. I was anxious. I was starstruck. I was ready. I drove fast. My engine matched my insides, powerful and stressing. There had been a fever in me, and she was a Robitussin. Make me better. She was beautiful, a flower with a round stem. She was nature, art, exquisite, real, a butterfly with brown skin. Soon I took my keys out of my car and put them in my front door. I closed it behind her and I stared at her. But now I want more, and she did too. I could see it in her face, confused but fun. So I told her to just relax, and then I let that music run. And then that music was the soundtrack to our lust and fantasy. And yes, that music made a queen of her and made a man of me. And oh, that music was intoxicating, an intense elixir. And that music made me go wild at every time I'd kiss her. And that music and that passion and that life was just so real to me. The drive home and the dancing, if I'm hurt, then it is healing me and filling me with the euphoria of deep emotion. And her eyes and lips and face and hair were strong, just like a potion. And I took it, and the next hours were magically extended, from the drive home to the dancing, and after a while it ended, and we laid there, coming back to earth from getting fairly lifted. And she grabbed my hand and smiled again, but this time it was different. I looked in those eyes that just an hour ago had so much beauty, and I saw that smile that just an hour ago did something to me. And that style, that flair, that energy, that fire that once filled me didn't come. She wasn't charming anymore. She didn't thrill me. And that warmth from when she touched my hand just turned to useless heat. It's true. My blinders left, and all her imperfections just came seeping through. I didn't need her anymore. I got what I was lusting, and the scent that used to smell so good just suddenly smelled musty. And that flower didn't look as sweet soon as the petals opened, and that butterfly was average after her cocoon was broken. And the real truth opened up on what the whole night meant to me. I didn't know it, but I was attracted only physically. I could have grown to like her mind, but I've already got her body. Could have got to know a woman, but instead I met a hottie. And because I did, she was appealing just below the waist. I tried to play it off and smile, but she read it in my face. We spent the last hours amazed, turning a loud club to a long night. Now she whispered to me that she'll get her things, and I said, all right. Now instead of good, I feel infected. She's no longer fine, but that's what happens when we introduce our bodies, not our minds.